Are you thinking of starting your own business? If so, then this video is for you. In it, I'm going to share with you the one thing you should know before you start a business. Hey there, aspiring entrepreneurs, Jimmy here from My Online Guy. And before you take the plunge and start your own business, there's something you need to know. In this video, I'm going to cover off a question I was asked by my audience and share with you the one thing that will make or break your success. So sit down and pay attention because this one's important. The first question actually comes from Sunil in Perth, my hometown, Western Australia. And he asks, what's the one thing everyone should know before starting a business? Short and sweet, great question though. So the one thing I think everyone should know before starting a business, it's a hard question to answer because there's lots of different things you really should know. But I'm going to talk about the one myth I feel like exists that really should be quashed before starting a business. And that is that starting a business is easy, or starting a business is like putting your name out there and money just appearing in your bank account. Starting a business is actually one of the hardest things you're going to do in your life. Clearly there's things that are harder, there's challenging times, things like that. But as far as a work perspective, you're gonna work harder than you've ever worked in a 9-to-5 job. And let me talk about the reasons why that's the case. So when you work a 9-to-5 job, or you work for someone else, you have a set of variables that you control, right? So let's say I work a 9-to-5 at a petrol station, a gas station, pumping petrol. My only job is to make sure that the customers that I'm serving have a good experience. It's not about pumping the petrol, not about anything else. So you have one set of variables, one set of stresses. You have one job to make sure that works. And there's plenty of other micro jobs involved with that, but your primary job, if you're a gas attendant, is to make sure that the customers that are buying gas from us have a good experience. That's your job, right? As a business owner, because you wear so many different hats, it creates so many different points of different stress. So, one day I could be trying to keep a customer happy, and the next day I could be trying to deliver a product, and the next day I could be trying to do business development, and some day I could be doing fault finding and trying to work out processes, things like that. All those individual things are like several individual jobs. So at the very, very start of a business, you are going to be probably 10 times more stress than when you're working a 9-to-5, unless you're buying existing businesses with some processes potentially. But I think it's a common myth out there that you can start an online business or start a business in general, and you're going to work 3 hours a week and the money's just going to sort of come into your bank account. Very rarely does someone start a business and it's that simple. There's very, very few circumstances, and I think that's what everyone tries to chase. And that should be everyone's goal, is to build a business around your lifestyle, that works around your lifestyle and where you want to be. But I think there was one thing everyone should know before starting a business: you need to be prepared to work, and you need to be prepared to work harder than you've ever worked in your life. Because unfortunately, especially at the start, you have no one else to lean on. It may just be you, and the wife, or you and the significant other. The buck stops with you, and because the buck stops with you, if you don't do the work, no one else is going to. So I think where the benefit of that is, and where the positive of that is you're going to work very, very hard, but you're going to get a disproportionate amount of return on that time. So let's go back to the gas attendant, working the 9-to-5. You're still going to work hard doing that job. There's very few jobs where you don't work hard, especially if someone else is paying you. But the reward for that effort is linear. So let's say you get paid $10 an hour. Doesn't matter if you work extra hard, you're still going to make $10 an hour. So you could work extra hard and put a huge amount of effort and commitment into the job, you're still going to only make $10 an hour. With a business and running a business is like, if you put in the effort and the time and the work and the energy, generally you'll get a disproportionate amount of return for that. So if I go extra hard and put in extra effort into acquiring clients, generally the reward for me is going to be significantly higher. So let's say, for instance, my hourly rate's $10 as well. If I go and put in double the amount of effort and work and energy, generally that hourly rate will go up to $20, $30, $40, $100, $200 an hour. So it's actually a good thing. If you get into the mindset that you don't get a free lunch, you have to work for everything in your life. When you do start a business, what you're then doing is going, okay, well, I'm going to be working harder than I ever have, but I'm actually going to be genuinely rewarded for that, which is quite satisfying. I've worked the hardest I've ever worked in my whole life running this agency, but it's probably the most satisfied I've ever been in any job that I've ever had, because I know that if I have to do a 15-hour days, generally I will get rewarded for that. If I do that little bit extra, I'm going to get rewarded for that. If I put in that little bit extra effort, I'm going to get rewarded for that. Whereas, I've had jobs in the past where I go above and beyond because it's just my nature, and it doesn't really change anything. I still make my $20, $30, $40 an hour, and no one else, it makes other people's lives easier, but I don't get proportionally rewarded for the effort. So that's the one thing you need to know before starting a business, is that you're going to work extremely hard, but the benefits of that is that your reward will be disproportionate to the amount of effort, positively disproportionate to the amount of effort you put in. So hopefully that answers your question, Sunil. I know there's other people that have different opinions on what the number one thing is before they need to know before starting a business, but that's me, and it's always treated me well. So guys, if you have a question like Sunil's, make sure to leave it in the comments below, and I'll do my best like Sunil did, and I'll do my best to answer them in the next episode.